what am I gonna do with this? Said, you eat it
Oh yeah,
with a
dude.
fork? Yeah. Okay. So
They
the first,
you guys eat rice with a fork.
yeah, I know it's crazy. Um, and I was like, the first time I was doing it, I was holding the fork and I was pushing it with my other hand.
Oh my.
Hello, and thank you for listening and watching to your favorite podcast, the Maximum Filipino Show. And of course, we're here. How you guys doing? We are
What's
doing this.
up?
We're doing this podcast again.
Welcome.
Don't say anything yet. I haven't introduced you. Oh my gosh, you guys are so excited. But we're doing something special. Right now, I'm being joined by, of course, it's Jed. It's always gonna be Jed. Jed, how are you doing, Jed?
It makes me feel so awkward answering that question now after what you said
Oh my god, that
about
was
the
funny.
how you doing.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Right?
And
All
we also have,
good.
Wakka. Oh my gosh, Wakka, you're here.
I'll do this again. What's up?
All right. Well,
Oh
so
god.
right now, this is what we're doing. We are gonna talk about. This is gonna be a very special podcast. I mean, every podcast is really special. If you guys don't hasn't noticed yet, I don't want my there. So this is gonna be the podcast or the videocast. It's about eating etiquette. Filipinos,
Typical.
we Filipinos, we love to eat, and we love to cook. And if we love to cook, we love to eat. And Waka knows this. Jed knows this, even though she doesn't cook. But no, she cooks
I cook
noodles.
for my right
Wow.
I do cook, CB. Yeah, it's
Um,
just like the out
I
of this
I
world
I cook.
dish.
I cook shomai.
Yeah, I cook cereal. Easiest recipe.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is are gonna be the typical Filipino eating etiquette. This is we're gonna talk about before you eat, the things that you need to expect and the things you need to say, during or while you're eating, and
Yeah.
after. So if you want to visit Philippines and you want to invite someone to eat, and while you're eating, after you eat, what are the things that you need to expect? Because they might laugh at you. Don't feel embarrassed because they won't shame you. Maybe not in your face, but Filipinos don't do that typically. But yeah, so just things that you need to expect. Waka, just for you, since you're an American who lived in the Philippines for quite a while, did you experience any? And I think we talked about this when we guessed you for one of our Learn Filipino pod. Anything that shocked you when it comes to eating? You don't have to give us the whole explanation, but did it shock you?
When it comes to eating,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
are we starting with before, during, after, or just right
Just
now
in
you're answering the
general,
question?
yeah.
There was like a handful of things. Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, nothing against the culture because I'm seeing it as a norm
Right.
upon everyone. So I'm like, okay, and I guess
Right.
it's a thing here. So
Right. And also, Jed, and not because Jed and I live in we both live in the Philippines, doesn't mean um, we have the same culture
Upbringing.
when it comes to eating etiquette. She's in a different province, and we all have. I'll tell that. There are hundreds of provinces in the Philippines, and we all almost have different eating etiquettes. So yeah, let's start this. Am I right, Jed? Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
We are pretty diverse. People kind of like think we are the same since we're Filipino,
Right.
but you would definitely see the difference once you start living here. And we as well feel like CB being Filipino, and you might think that we are like comfortable with each other with everything, but there would really come a time that you feel awkward being with another Filipino just
Right.
because you're not from the same region.
Right. And just a disclaimer: this is not formal etiquette. I feel like there's a universal formal etiquette of the amount of spoon and forks and knives and silverwares like glasses you have. I think that's very universal. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about just typical, normal. I'm not saying they're
Probably like
abnormal.
the eating
Just
norm
yeah, just a
of
normal Filipino household and the things that they do.
typical Filipino eating habits.
There you
Kind of
go.
thing.
All right, let's talk about before. And I wanna touch into this. I told a ton of my friends here in America if they want to visit Philippines. Uh, this is before, and let's talk about when you're eating out, like when you're going outside and eat. The rule
Mhm.
of thumb is this is the rule of thumb, and a lot of people follow this because remember, Asian culture that includes Philippines, we are enveloped in shame culture, so we feel ashamed on doing things, and we wanna do things based on what other people think about us. So we are not very straightforward with the things that we want, the things that we expect. We just play it out and fill it out. So we're not really straightforward when it comes to that. So when you're going to eat out and you invite someone to go and eat, they expect you to pay for it, and
Yeah,
that's in a general idea, right, Jed?
exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of help for that answer. But yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're the one who invited a person,
Mhm.
they expect you to pay. But if you're the one being invited and I'm a Filipino,
Mhm.
I expect to be treated. Yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
if you ask me out on a date, then I expect you to pay.
Right, and that includes and that includes the whole family. So if you invited the whole family and you told them, "Let's go out and eat," we you are expected to pay for it. Did you
Oh,
experience
yeah.
Did you experience any of this, Walker?
Um, I don't know. No, most of the time when anyone goes out and hang with me, I'm always the one that's paying for the food, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But because that's just in my nature.
Right.
If you're gonna hang out with me, have a good time, you know,
Oh, well,
eat
I
what
should
you.
invite you then.
We
He
should.
pays regardless.
Right. Right. Which is funny
So
because you be expected to pay for the food, but for the fare, how does that work, Jed?
Oh, for the fair. Well, I don't know, but for me, I really feel like I'm obliged to pay for myself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But there's this awkward moment like, okay, should I pay for myself? Should I pay for this person too? But
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, I just, if I'm the first one to, like, if to pay, then I would pay for the other person as well. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
that. But we rarely commute though, so
Interesting.
that's kind of hard. Yeah,
Right.
that's a hard question.
well, based on my experience with when it comes to going out to eat, generally speaking, I mean, I don't know if I have. If I did, I wouldn't be surprised. But everyone would normally pay for their own trip to get there. But otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the food,
Yeah,
most
that's
of the
it.
time with me, I'm not saying I'm obliged. I enjoy having a good time with everyone to eat. But in that terms of etiquette, I mean, I get it if it's in a formal fashion or a formal invite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it makes sense when the one person is going to pitch if he's formally inviting friends or family to come and eat. However, if it's hang out with your good closest friends, I mean, they will get it if you want to split the cost. If you
Mm-hmm.
know be open with it. But I guess that's just me. I'm not sure if
Right.
that's it's like that out
Right.
there in PH.
Right.
Guys,
How about in what?
just a sec. There was a notification earlier, like 30 seconds ago, saying that the meeting will end in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I think they've returned the minutes back.
Yeah,
Oh, they
and
did
we
they?
no longer have like the free one.
Oh. Oh.
So
Oh.
you're gonna
Well, if it ended, we'll just resume it,
Just
and
yeah,
then
resume it.
I'm editing this anyways. So, how about when it comes to relationship? Let's say we're dating. How does that rule play out?
Um, you're asking me or whoever goes
Just
first.
yeah, just whoever goes first.
In my case, in terms of dating, well, I was
she
raised
pays for it.
traditional way. I was raised
For
a
sure.
traditional way.
He
Uh-huh.
even pays for someone he don't date. What more for someone he dates, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So
Regardless,
hold on. So what if the girl invited the guy to go? Let's go get something to eat.
he said regardless.
I would
Regardless,
insist.
okay. So
Yeah,
it's
I
still
will
the guy.
find my
Yes.
way to pay for it in
Yep.
advance, even.
Yep.
Like this one time, you know, Princess AJ,
Mhm.
but so this friend of ours brought her friends down to hang out here down in South California,
Mhm.
near LA and so forth, and we all hanging out to eat, and then so I stood up, you know, just to step away from the table. Everyone's still eating. They didn't mind me. They think I was going to the restroom. I just didn't say anything, but I went straight to the
To pay.
pay, yeah, pay it off, and then I came back and ate with them, and like nothing happened. And by the time we finished, and they were already trying to pull out their pockets, I'm like, it's okay, it's taken care of. It's okay, it's all right. And they get shocked. I mean,
Right. Right.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
love the. I think I've experienced this before. Um, like my friends and I will go out and eat, and I have a job and they don't have a job, and things like that. Where we go out and eat, and they slowly picking their taking their wallet out. They're like, "Is he gonna pay for it or what?" And then I'll be like, "No, I got it. I'll pay for it. I got it. Don't worry about it." And this was in the Philippines, so it was interesting because that's the way we do it. You know what I mean? Like we're not very straightforward. Unless you're
Right.
Jed,
yeah,
then Jed will tell you, "You're a guy. You pay for my food." Um,
yeah.
something
I
like
guess
that.
Well,
that is an
now,
exception.
it's a different thing for me, and I guess it's um, like I've been seeing some conversations on Facebook, and this has been really a hot topic. Like who's going to pay for the date?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Is it the girl or is it the guy? But especially nowadays, it's no longer a big deal if the girl pays for it. I mean, like I've been I've dated a lot of
People.
men, but yeah, people. 'Cause,
people.
yeah, I dated girls before as well. So yeah. Anyway,
Ooh, kinky.
I mean, like I'm not expecting the person to pay for me, even if that person kind of like invited me. Because one thing is that okay, this person doesn't have a job, so I know I'm the one who's going to pay for
Mm,
this. And I'd be like, I'm pretty sure I'm the one who's going to pay for this. I already have that feeling that I'm the one who's going to
that makes
pay.
Being
sense.
So
Yeah,
obligated.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
regardless if you're a guy or a girl, I kind of feel like I'm the one who's paying for it, unless you're my aunt or my uncle.
Unless you're my ex, then I won't invite you. All right.
This
Well,
guy.
I
let's.
would still probably pay for my ex.
Oh no, I won't. Oh gosh. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go back home. Literally, let's go back home. How about with this is during, not during, but before a family meal. What to expect? What do you expect? It's a family, and someone is prepping food, and you're about to eat, especially dinner, specifically dinner. Um, what are the things that they have to expect? What do you think, Jed?
Okay. Well, if you're in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
you wait for someone to pray for the food
That's
Well,
right.
before
that's
you
one
eat.
for sure.
Yep, that's a big one.
Yeah, and you also have to wait for everybody to be in the table. Like, um, I don't know. It's not just my family's norm, but I guess most families in the Philippines, we don't start
Till
the
everyone's at the
meal
table.
unless everybody's complete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right.
so
I
we'll wait
witnessed
for
that too.
everybody
That's
because
right.
we are going to pray when everybody's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even before that, even before the praying part, but here in America,
And
like and
preparation,
Yeah,
etc.
Waka can attest this. When someone yells, this is typical. You know what I mean? Typical Americans when they say dinner is ready, they get up, they go
Yeah,
straight in the kitchen and grab their food. In the Philippines, the parents, sometimes the mom, or most of the times the mom, will prep the food on the table. So there's gonna be like a
right.
serving meal for rice and other dishes and stuff like that, and the plates are gonna be there. So it's like eating in a restaurant. And when they say
Yeah,
dinner is ready, we're all gonna be sitting down, right?
right.
Yes.
Jed, tell us how's the setup for sitting, like the seat. In the
Okay.
Philippines, we're
Normally,
like a team. Like we have our
right.
own
We
seating.
have this.
Right.
hierarchy thing.
Hierarchy. Right. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep. That's right.
And yeah, especially the conservative kind of family.
Mm-hmm.
We have the modern ones, but those are old school. It always I mean, the father always has to be like at the end of the table.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
The mom has to be like at the right side of the
That's
father,
right.
and then so on,
And then
and
the
so
kids.
forth.
That's right.
But
Everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everyone else. But nowadays, I mean, modern family, and we, we I think I'm used to it as well because we have the round table, so it's like, where is dad going to?
Right in the
It's
middle. Right in the
now.
middle of the table. Sit
Right
right
at the
there.
middle of the
So
table.
yeah, we no longer have that.
Right.
But there are still families who have like, hey, don't sit there. That's
Mm-hmm.
mom's seat. No, don't
Right.
sit there. That's
Yeah, it's an assigned seat.
okay. I'm going to stay
That's right.
here.
That's right.
Hmm.
I'll be at the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah. Did you notice that, Waka, when you were in the Philippines?
Oh, I was so I stayed with a family that that
Mm-hmm.
stick to, in that kind of tradition. So yeah, I've noticed it. But now that you brought it up at the head of the table, how would you know which is the head of the table when they both have
Yeah.
an end?
Right.
And
Right.
it
Right.
most of the time the other end is not occupied, especially if it's a long table. You just
Hmm.
gotta like stay in one spot. But because there will be two ends, right?
Hmm.
Um, most of the time, like the other end would be like the eldest brother
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
or
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the mom has to look at the right side, and sisters on the left side. But the other end should be a guy
Yeah.
too.
never knew that, but okay.
Yeah. It's with that said, it's an
That's kind of
assigned
like a
seat.
normal. Um, we don't say that it's like a rule or
Mm-hmm.
something that we really have to follow, but it's just like the normal thing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
common
norm in
thing.
the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when it comes to food, okay, when it comes to food, kids, when you go to the Philippines, you don't get to decide what to eat. The dad gets to decide what to eat, like what will be the meal. This is in a traditional fashion. The mom will
Hmm.
ask the dad what's gonna be the what's gonna be dinner. The
Yeah.
mom don't typically ask the kids. Nowadays they do, because I don't know, but it
Right.
changed.
Yeah.
I remember in my
Yeah. There's a
family.
difference
Oh
nowadays.
yeah,
I
big
mean,
time.
there's a huge difference.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
That's a big difference.
a lot of families still follow that rule. I remember my mom will ask my dad, and I will say, I don't like that food. My dad said, well, I guess you're not eating. So,
Right. Right.
I was
Fathers
definitely raised that
before
way.
were so
right.
powerful. I mean, they were really superior. Men
Mm-hmm.
were superior,
Right.
especially in the Philippines back then. But
Hmm.
now it'd be like, what do you want? What do they want?
Right.
Everybody has their pick.
That's right. Um,
Yeah.
what else? What else do we have for the before meal or before we
The
eat?
before meal. Okay, this could be before meal or in between or
Mm-hmm.
during, but I don't know. Most of the Filipinos can't eat without the sauce. CB, what's your favorite Filipino sauce? How do we call it?
Ooh, yeah. So
Right. I mean,
dip like
a dip. Yeah, a
yeah.
dip.
My
A
favorite.
common
It
dip.
depends. It depends what we're eating. Okay. It
But
really depends.
the common dip for Filipino, we don't. Most Filipinos don't know what barbecue sauce is.
No. Oh my
They,
gosh. No.
right?
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. Nope. I've only
uh-uh.
known barbecue sauce here in America. I've never known
I've
Oh.
known
barbecue
barbecue
sauce.
sauce because of my uncle, who's an American.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Not let alone A1 sauce. Like who the heck knows A1 sauce? So anyway, my favorite dip is I like I said, it depends
Ewan.
on what I eat. If it's really like a fried fish, um I do vinegar and fish sauce. But this that vinegar and fish
Oh
sauce. Yeah.
God, dude.
But
You
but
know,
hold on. But typically what I use is and this is my favorite, like my all-time favorite. Like I can eat this with rice. It's soy sauce and tomatoes. That's it. Soy sauce and tomatoes. That's all I have to put in there, and then I can eat it just that alone. How about you, Jed?
and tons more. we have fish sauce plus the lime or um lemon, or
Yeah. The small
in the
lemon. Yeah,
Philippines we call it the
calamansi.
Yeah, calamansi.
calamansi.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot vinegar and
Really?
onions.
Wait, you put vinegar and calamansi together?
No,
That's
I
really
mean vinegar
sour.
and onion.
Oh, vinegar and onion.
Yeah, I love
Really?
putting onion.
Ugh.
in vinegar.
Ugh.
Oh God,
Ugh.
dude, go to Cebu. I mean,
Ugh.
the street food there, the vinegar and
Mm.
onions, they go together, like all the time. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, how about vinegar and cucumber? They put cucumber,
Okay.
Yeah.
vinegar, cucumber,
Yeah.
and onions.
Yeah. That's like our own
We
version of
yeah.
pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they
Version
kind
of
of like
pickles?
Yeah, that's
You
our
know,
version of
it's
pickle.
pickles is a fermented version of a cucumber, right?
Right, but ours we don't ferment it. We just dip the cucumbers in vinegar and then eat it like
Fair
that.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
but not that you chop it like you can eat the cucumber. You really add it like a sauce. So they would either blend it or mince it and put it there. Like it's almost
It's part of the sauce.
It's
invisible.
part
Yeah,
it's part of the sauce.
it's part of the sauce.
Speaking of sauce, since you guys are on it, that was new to me. So I was raised up when we have sauce, we just dip it on our food, just
Mhm.
pour it right there, like ketchup on this, soy sauce on that. That's how I was raised. But
Yeah.
when I was out there, they put on a little,
Yeah.
little,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
that's a good
Softer.
That was
clarification.
new to me.
Yep.
Even ketchup, I was like, even
Yeah.
ketchup isn't that.
And our ketchup is not tomato ketchup. It's banana ketchup.
It's banana.
people.
Banana.
It's banana.
Yeah.
It's banana.
I know what a lot of Filipinos love banana ketchup.
I don't like it.
Would you like it?
Yeah. I know someone. This is crazy. I know this is off topic, but I know someone in my college, and he was so crazy with fish sauce. If you guys have a horrible like, if you're weak, you have a weak stomach, do not watch how fish sauce is made, because it's disgusting. It's totally
Oh God.
disgusting. But anyway,
I'll keep
it's
that
I'm
in mind.
like
it's no, don't look it up. It's gross.
judging from the smell
Oh,
uh,
it's gross.
of
But anyway,
fish sauce.
what he does is, so like what Wakka said, in the Philippines, when we say sauce, we don't put it in our rice or we don't put it in our food directly. We put it in a bowl and then we mix it there and then we use our spoon, because we don't use,
Mhm.
and that's another food etiquette, and we're gonna talk about that later. We use our spoon to put it in your, in your scoop of rice or scoop of food, and then you eat it. But this guy in my college, he'll take the fish sauce, nothing, no vinegar, just fish sauce, put it directly on his rice,
With the
Yep.
rice.
and then put it in a bowl, and then do the same thing, like scoop it with spoon and then eat it. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was what's his name, Pastor, I forgot his name. Uh, I shouldn't have
I
said it
can't
'cause
imagine how
I don't know his name.
salty it tastes like.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Kuya,
My mom does the same thing. I mean, she would pour the fish sauce all over her plate, but be
Mhm.
like,
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. All right, well, let's go with during meal, and this is where we dive in, because there's a lot of food etiquette and what to expect when eating in the Philippines. First of all, and this is very important. Okay, this is very very important. We do not use, when we eat, the utensils that we use is spoon and fork, nothing else,
Mhm.
or
Nothing
your
else.
hands. That's it. That's it.
yeah.
Yep. It's
Um,
three.
Is that spoon and fork in your hands. Now, if you say, well, how do you cut stuff? We use the spoon to cut it.
Right.
Exactly.
A good example would
Exactly.
be steak. Like
Yeah.
if you eat steak, we're supposed to use fork and knife for that.
Right.
But most Filipinos would just either use their hands for it
Mhm.
or spoon.
Right,
to
or the
cut
spoon.
the meat.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we don't. I was blown away when they handed me fork in here, and we're going to eat rice. What am I gonna do with this? Said, you eat it
Oh yeah.
with a
dude.
fork? Yeah. Okay. So
They
the first.
you guys eat rice with a fork.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And I was like, the first time I was doing it, I was holding the fork and I was pushing it with my other hand.
Oh my.
um, and yeah, and I was blown away that that's the way they do it. In
That's something here. Yeah.
here. Yeah. I
Okay.
know.
Cause CB, I've noticed how typical Filipino eat. I mean, with
Mhm.
utensils, like instead of how we use fork when we eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how you get mashed potatoes
Yeah, yeah,
or rice, you're
yeah.
going to do it like that.
Right.
But a typical Filipino would scrape. So I
Oh,
think that's
Exactly.
what
That's
makes
yeah.
right.
it.
That's
It's going to
exactly.
be really hard if you use fork
That's
and
right.
you scrape it, because we use the spoon to like scrape the food like that, like how
Mm-hmm.
you eat ice cream. But other
No, and I think it's also because of the way we hold it. So okay, in the
oh
Philippines,
yeah,
this is how we hold spoon and fork. You know what I mean? Like spoon and fork. This is the way we hold it. And then the
Nice
fork and the
fork.
spoon. I know. Thank you. Don't ask me why I have this near me. So we push it with the fork into the spoon and then eat it. You know what I mean?
right.
Here in America, and I've seen
Yes.
a lot of people, they eat it like they're holding a pen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the way they hold a pen,
Hmm.
Just like
for the
just like
fork.
two fingers.
Right, for the fork, and unless they're cutting, like for the steak, they'll cut it like this, and then they
I'm an
change it.
exception, by the way.
Typical Filipino would hold it like as if they're cutting all the time.
Right, or brushing their teeth.
Yeah, just like brushing your teeth.
Someone's gonna clip
Gonna use all your
that
fingers for it.
video and put in something inappropriate. But anyway, Waka, what were you gonna
What?
say?
No, I said I'm an exception. Though you're right about Americans to how they hold their food. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the etiquette here is very different out there in PH. But yeah, I'm an exception. That's for sure. I'm an
You
exception.
are
You
the
could be a
only
Filipino by
exception.
heart, Waka. My
No,
friend thought you're
he is
Filipino.
Filipino by heart and Filipino by belly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Behind the
Yes.
my friend really thought he's Filipino.
um.
Now, when I brought that particular etiquette, or yeah, etiquette with the fork and spoon, my family and other people looked at me weird. It's like, why are you doing that? And I told them,
Oh,
you know what? It makes sense to me. All right, it makes sense to me to eat.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. So during meal, okay,
all right.
in my, at least in my household and the way I grow up, here in America, okay, here in America, if you want something, like let's say you want the soy sauce and it's too far away from you, you ask the person right next to you, "Will you hand me the soy sauce?" In the Philippines, they stand up and grab it across from you.
yeah.
Not,
Yep.
not,
You
yeah,
get
I've seen
off
that.
your seat. Um, uh, like in America, people would be like, "It's going to be rude if you're going to stand
Yes.
Reach,
and
you reach,
move from
yeah,
one plate to another
yeah,
if you reach for it." But in the Philippines, if you ask someone, they'd be like, "Why can't you grab it?
right,
Like, can't you
exactly,
stand? Are
right.
you?"
And then
Oh,
so the first thing that they hand to you, like what I said, the setup is sit on the table, and the food is on the table. Like there's a big bowl of rice, a big bowl of whatever dish you're going to eat with. They're gonna hand you the rice first. So they're gonna scoop the rice. They hand it to the dad normally, and
yeah,
then he will get a portion of the rice and pass it to the mom, and then next, and then next. Yep, that's how they do it,
traditional.
and then the dish. But if you need something else, you don't. They don't typically ask the person right next to, "Hey, will you hand me that?" Nope, they will just stand up and reach for it. And that's not just a family thing. That's like in general thing. Because I remember that Waka when we were in college, in our dorm, we do the same thing. We reach for anything in
Yeah.
front of someone. We don't even say "excuse me." We just say,
Yeah,
just
Just
reach it, like just
it's
grab
like
it.
that's it. I mean, okay, do
Right.
your thing. I'm gonna
Do
do
your
my
thing.
thing.
That's right. That's right.
yeah. I mean, a few things I also noticed. I mean, I'll say it quick. Um, is one, there's no shame in talking and eating at the same time.
There we go. I was just gonna say the
Um,
same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yep.
talking, eating at
I
the same
mean, they
time.
go together in the Philippines.
That's right.
So they'll be eating. Say, wait, what?
Yeah.
I
Were
don't know.
you shocked when the first time you saw that?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Very much. Very much.
Oh God,
What
really?
were your
But
reaction?
it was one of the things is I like. Okay, I guess it's normal here.
Right.
I'll just dig.
Pretty
You know,
normal.
the first time I heard someone said that to me, because my parents didn't tell me. You know what I mean? Because it's not a common thing in the Philippines. You don't tell someone, "Don't talk when your mouth is full." Actually, you're the one
Yeah.
who told me that. The first time you said, "Don't talk when your mouth is full." I said, "Why?" I remember saying, "Why?" Because it's rude. Why? I'm multitasking. I think that's what I said. I said I'm multitasking.
Um, for us, I'm used to like don't talk when your mouth is full. Not because it's rude, only because we don't want that person to choke. kind of, or
No,
like
I
you
think
gotta finish your food before you
no, I
eat, and
think Jed. I think it's because you're too focused on eating that you don't care about other people. It's like I just want to finish my food. I just
no, I mean you know what? I'm always the last person to finish my food, because I talk a lot.
I
And
you don't say.
yeah, speaking of talking and eating at the same time, uh, I don't know if this is the same with other countries, but I've noticed that, especially the old, or the traditional family, they like use the mealtime, especially dinner, to
Mhm.
talk to their children and
Mhm.
school their children, and whatever, which
Mm.
I find really inappropriate. Like, I always have this notion. I mean, I have this principle to never talk to my son anything about school, or when we're eating, because my father, they're used to like scolding us while we're eating,
Mm.
because that's
During
the only
mealtime.
time
Right.
everybody's
Is there?
present. And I'd be like, can I just finish my food first? So I
Right.
don't want that to happen to my son, and I don't like it when people like tell someone, or bring up a bad news while eating. So yeah.
It makes your food taste bitter. Not so great.
Right. And I don't know why most Filipinos, especially, you know, back then, they really used the dinner time as, a time to talk to their children
Hmm.
of, yeah, or a time to scold their children.
Okay, so
Where's
Yeah.
since we're talking about pros or things that are acceptable, let's talk about things that are not acceptable while you're eating in the
I was
Philippines.
just gonna ask that.
Jeb, what do
oh
you think?
Like, for example, here in America, you can't have your elbow on the table. But you said a few things, AJ, to me some time ago. There were some things that I was shocked that you shouldn't be doing at the table.
yeah, it's rude when
Um,
So
like
one example is you cannot stretch while you're eating. That's a big no-no. Like while you're eating and someone else is eating, I remember this from my grandparents. You can't do this.
it's
It has
rude.
something. It has something to do with, and they told me it's rude. First of all, but they said it
Even
has.
yawning.
Yeah, or yawning. Yep.
It's
They.
it's like you are not. It's like you are, um, tur- how do you call this?
You're
It's
not
like you're
respecting the food.
insulting the food. Yeah, you're not respecting the
Hmm.
food, and it's like you're turning down the blessing.
That's right. Yep.
hmm.
Yep.
And
So
don't do this.
don't. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah.
Don't
Because I
eat like
remember.
that.
Yeah.
They
I
feel like
remember.
are you bored eating? Are
Yeah.
you not happy being on the table? I mean,
Yeah. Because I remember my grandma will hit my elbow. It's like, nope, get your elbow off. Or
yeah.
when I yawn, they will yell at me. So no stretching. This is the things that I remember. So no stretching, no yawning, and no
No
singing.
frowning.
Ooh, that frowning is a big one too.
Dude, I remember my mom almost slapped me. Because
Wow.
that's like when you woke up in the wrong side of the bed, like, so I got up because my mom was like, "Hey, breakfast," and everybody has to be there. I mean, no one's eating when we're not complete. So I feel like I'm still so sleepy. So I don't have any reason to smile. So I went to the table and I was like that. And my mom was like, "What's with your face?" I was like, "Uh, "What's with your face? Get the hell out of here,
Right.
or I'm going to I'm going to slap." Yeah, she
Wow.
was really inferior. She was so mad at me. Like, okay, so I didn't have my breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
No breakfast
Yep.
for me.
Yep. Did you notice any of
Not
that,
that
Waka?
big.
Uh, no. Um, maybe it's that I wasn't really aware
Mm-hmm.
of that particular or
They'll not
that.
let you join the table if you have that face. So
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm always happy when it comes to the table, when it comes to food, always. But seeing for that reason of negative emotions at the table, I Never heard of it. That's a first.
Yeah, and then I was saying no singing, so you cannot sing while
Oh,
you can't even hum. Like humming is a big thing too. You cannot do that. So all you have to do is just focus on eating or talk to someone.
it's your food.
Yep, eat your food. You can even laugh. What do you call this? Mouth open. Like you can laugh with your mouth open, and that's fine. Um, but not singing. It's
Especially
so
with
weird.
friends.
I know it's so weird. Like you can talk while your mouth is full, but you cannot sing. That doesn't make any sense to me in my head.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
I think it really has something to do with the choking. I don't
think
know.
so.
Like if you
think
sing
so.
and you're
Oh,
eating, you could probably choke.
singing and or humming is no different than talking and eating at the same
But
time.
the humming though, like I don't
Yeah.
know, they just find it rude.
Yeah, the stretching one is kind of bugged me because they told me so when
Right.
you're eating
Now,
and then you stretch, they have something to do with your stomach line that it affects your digestion. I'm like, oh, okay,
That's
all right,
never heard of that.
okay. I don't know.
weird.
Right. What else? So what else do we have for
Yeah,
before?
Curry.
I have another one. One is a big thing for me. So if you're planning to eat with your hand, there's that sitting position. That sitting position to
that's
eat at the
right.
table. I don't know if you know, and I guarantee you've seen it,
Oh,
Jed, that there's that one person who decides to put one leg on the chair
yeah. I love
and
most of the Filipinos also eat like this
Right.
and then like that. So
and eat
gonna
with their
eat here
hands. Exactly, just like that.
like that
Yep.
or something like that. But I mean, it's some families would find it rude, especially if you go to like somebody else's house. But if you're at home, you know, I
Or
don't know. My
somewhere that's
parents,
comfortable.
yeah, if you're comfortable with the person, you do like that. But my mom and I mean my mom and my dad would always say, put your
Put your
Like
feet
your
that.
down.
leg,
Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah, we have
Hmm.
some manners when it comes to eating. So it depends where
yeah.
you're
'Cause
located.
it's just, you
Yeah,
know,
you can be
I
sitting
mean,
down on the floor or on the chair, and yeah. I don't do that. I just put my feet on the ground when I eat. Um,
right.
You did that one time
yeah.
before, Jed.
You're
Really?
Yeah, well, one or a few times. It's when you were thinner then.
I probably can't do it now. Like my tummy's gonna hit my leg. All right. So you talked about this about the so Filipinos love to eat, and you a lot of people probably gonna be grossed out with this, but we love to eat with our hands. I did this. I did this once, in front of my wife. In our, and she recorded it.
even if it's not finger food.
Right, even if it's not finger
Yeah.
food. So like I've seen someone eat spaghetti with their hands. Like,
Oh God,
oh,
dude,
okay.
Well,
that's a different
All
level.
right.
that's a whole nother level. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anyone done that
No,
yet.
yeah.
Never,
So yeah,
never noodles.
I was eating rice with I think with chicken, and then with the dip. I was eating it in front of her. It's like, and she said, "I've never seen you done that before." I said, "This is a very Filipino thing," and that actually what gave me an idea to do this podcast. Um, okay, so let me ask you this, Jed, what is the grossest way of eating food with their hands that you've seen or witnessed?
Um.
And you too, Wakka.
Oh, here, like when we have soup
Mm-hmm.
in other countries, you use spoon for the soup, right?
Right,
And you do
right.
it like that, and it has to be in a separate bowl. But Filipinos, they would pour the soup all over the rice, and then they would still use their hands for it. I
I've
really
seen
don't
that.
like using
I've
my
seen
hands
that.
if
Yes,
the
yes,
rice is wet
yeah.
or anything. Yeah, any wet food, just and you're gonna use your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when I eat with my hands, um, the rice should not go over here. It has to be just like here, this
Mm-hmm.
part alone, not
Yeah.
here, not over my nails. Like if it goes over my nails, I'm going to go
Wash your
to
hands.
the sink and wash my hands. Yep. But I see people eating like the rice would go up to here and then they just
Mm-hmm. My
and
Uh,
my cousin,
like
we were eating nilaga, and he was a lot younger,
See?
and he
The
ate. He ate
super
with his hand, and
with
then
the hands.
yeah, and then he was done. He couldn't eat anymore, so he gave it to his dad. Okay, so nilaga, the water of the nilaga is a little clear. I mean, it's not dirty, but it's clear. But in that plate,
Right.
it's brown.
Oh God!
And
For
he
real?
handed it to his dad. It was so gross. Like Waka, what is
Ew.
the grossest hand eating gesture you've seen in the Philippines?
Um, I really haven't noticed or paid attention to it. I mean, it was a shock, but it was exciting to me that I don't need utensils to eat. I can use my hands, but if I think about it, no, I really haven't noticed it. I mean, with the one, eating rice with, or when it's wet or wet food, or how she said that, I haven't seen anyone lick their hands on when the rice is
Oh,
all over
dude,
their other
I've
parts of their
Oh
hand.
I've done that
God.
before. So
I
I
I
used to
lick
be
my
a
fingers. I
yeah,
lick my fingers, but just this part here,
yeah,
because
Right.
that's the only part I want dirty.
yeah. I used to
Once
be
it
a
goes over, I would really wash my hands. But I have this aunt. She's feeding, her children, even her grandchildren, and we talk about this, me and my other aunts and my cousins, because it's kind of funny. She does this all the time. So she's feeding the children, and she goes all over the living room and
And it's
all over the
dripping.
house while using her fingers to feed the children. And then the rice would just, like, it's already hardened on her hand. It's like
oh
her hand would really be
oh
so,
that's gross.
I don't know. It just
Yeah, I
the
can
food
picture
is
that.
hardened,
I've
and
never seen that.
yeah, like, because it takes hours for her to feed the children, because the children are playing, and she won't, like, eat hers, and then we're done. She let the children play, and then she let the children play, and then she would just go over, and then she talks. She would talk a lot, so it takes hours. So whatever is on her hand, it dries up. So
That's gross.
imagine having the
Right.
food dried up on your hand.
That's gross. I
Yeah,
used to
it's
be a
really gross.
messy eater when it comes to eating with my hands. That, like what you explained, there's rice all over my hands, and I like
Oh God, dude.
yeah. Oh, I'm one of those people. I used to be one of those people. But the grossest way of eating, okay, with using their hands in the Philippines that I witnessed, it was so gross. It includes slurping. So they'll grab it with
Oh
full
yeah.
hand, okay, like full hand, and they'll go. I'm like, oh
Ew.
god.
Wow.
For real? I haven't seen a person.
Wow. I
Maybe
haven't seen
babies.
that.
Babies would probably do that.
Babies, it
Yep.
makes sense,
I've
but
I've seen a
Right.
grown
a
man.
full
Babies
adult
would
did
do
it?
Yep, a
that.
full adult
If
grab
you
it,
do that,
full
you're a
hand,
baby.
A
like,
full grown adult, huh?
and then grab it. I'm like, oh,
Ugh.
okay,
Okay.
all
The
right,
I know,
sound
right?
just already gets you, but the gesture as well.
yeah.
Mm.
All right. So let's move on to almost done eating, and this is very important because this is part of Filipino culture, and Waka
Yes, it
witnessed
is
this.
actually.
Towards the end, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, very much.
Towards the end,
Oh,
Waka,
almost done eating.
Waka, explain to us
So
what is it?
whenever it comes close to the end of the meal or towards the end
Mm-hmm.
of, there's always a portion of a last bite left, and no one tends to get it.
It's a Filipino thing.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
Um,
very Filipino thing.
yeah. Like when we eat out or whatever meal that is, if there's a little portion of the food left, and we would say, "You are so Filipino." Like, this is so Filipino. Yeah, we always say that, even if we are Filipinos and everyone that's eating are Filipinos, we would really say, "You guys are so Filipinos." I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is so Filipino.
Yeah, and I think it's because of like what I told
For
you.
shy.
Yeah, like what I told you earlier. It's about the shame culture, like the shame
Yep.
idea of if you took the last meal, people will
It would
think
have the
that
guilt
right,
of
right, right. People will think that you like what is the phrase that
you
we
ate the
use?
most.
Yeah, you ate the most, or you're patay gutom. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're like a what is that word?
Uh,
Gluten.
Gluttony?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gluttony.
right.
So we don't do that. Um, But now I don't really care.
All
If I love it, if I
right.
love that last piece of pizza, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Me
Speaking of
too. I
pizza, I
mean,
had a very similar situation where we had a similar talk that with a group of friends. I think I said it on the last
Mm-hmm.
podcast. So basically, we had the same talk. One of them said, "Man, we're so Filipino, man. We always leave the last piece or slice if we're eating pizza." And I told every single one of them, was like, you know what? That's what y'all all do. But this is what us Samoans do. I'm a Polynesian. This is what us Samoans do. We take the last bite. We leave no leftovers. No.
I'm that person too. I mean, I don't like as long as my tummy can take it, I'm gonna eat the last bite.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I
why,
respect you. I
yeah,
respect you.
Mm-hmm.
that's why I kind of feel like, am I really Filipino? Because when they eat, I don't really like, having to leave something behind.
We
Mm-hmm.
learned that Malja is not a Filipino, right, Ajo?
Yeah, she's not. She's not Filipino. She's not. Just a disclaimer. Public service announcement. She's not Filipino. She kind of looks Filipino. She talks Filipino, but she's not Filipino.
Ah.
Um.
Sorry, Malja. Sorry, my bad.
All right.
uh,
Let's move to the end of the meal. Okay. This is after. Let's go. Let's say you're eating out. You're outside. You're going. You went out and eat. I've never experienced this because I don't typically go to restaurants. And then when I say restaurants, like fancy restaurants, you know what I mean? I've only gone to just
fast
carinderia
food.
or fast food and things like that. Um, and I think Wakka and Jed, you guys been to a restaurant in the Philippines. But how's the
Mm.
tipping culture in the Philippines?
When it comes to eating out.
Mm-hmm. Do you tip? Do you Is it mandated
Oh, the
to
tip.
tip your waiter?
Well, with with because I go out with my aunt most of the time, and like, yeah, we would leave some, but most of the Filipinos, if I'm going to, you know talk about Filipinos in general, we don't leave a tip
Mm-hmm.
because they feel like they are already paying the waitress or the waiter for it, considering that they paid for the service fee. You know, like, they're gonna
Mm.
check a bill, and then, oh, there's service fee,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not gonna live. I mean, I'm not gonna leave any tip for this. But if there's no service fee, then you would leave something.
Mm.
But in general, no, no tipping.
Yeah, I haven't seen when I was out there going to restaurants with others that I know of. I haven't seen anyone ever tip.
Yeah,
I
they would
mean,
even get the last centavo of their
Mm-hmm.
um
Change.
change,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
the last penny, the last
but I do see
coin.
when they do go out and eat that a hand gesture to let them know that you're ready to go.
That's right.
A
A check.
check.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
that
We lift
one.
our hands up
Yeah.
high. Waiter.
Yeah, someone pulled a joke that, you know what? You can
Ten.
say anything you want. All they see is the gesture. You can say, "You're ugly," and then shake their head. Okay, okay. But yeah, that's one thing.
Yep.
A
A
check,
check.
calling it no
A check.
matter where you are.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Right.
and then I think I might be wrong, but am I right that in restaurants, like for example in Mang Inasal, you pay first, right, before you eat
Oh, for fast food.
for fast
For
food? Oh,
fast food,
so it's the
yes.
same thing in here. Okay. Okay. But
Yeah.
in the restaurant, it's still they will give you a check after you eat. Okay.
We do this.
Yes, after you eat.
After you eat. Okay.
Yes.
So
I don't know why they do that. I
I
mean,
don't know.
you could just
Right. Right.
like
Or I
Just
don't know. I don't know why they do this.
just
I've
raise
never
your
seen
hand.
that before, but I've seen people just do that.
Right.
Nah, I actually would raise my hand if I call for the bill, or like,
Mm,
hey,
right.
but I I don't know why my friends and most of the people do this.
They do that. I guess that's a common gesture. I mean, other people might do it differently, but they already know what that meant. It's like, oh, okay, they're ready
Yeah.
to pay.
Right. Okay. So let's do so when you're at home, or let's say you go in a party, right? Like a wedding party or birthday party, and
Hmm.
it's typically um a buffet.
Hmm.
It's a Filipino
favorite.
rule.
My
Right. Oh, I love
favorite.
them. The Filipino rule is, and we were taught this since we were young, is you eat what you get, or you eat everything that's on your plate
Yep. I was
and
raised the
not
same way.
throw them away. Um, just the idea of throwing food away, it feels so shameful for us because a lot of people are not getting fed, and it's a third world country. So just the fact of you
Yeah.
throwing away just rice is very shameful for us.
Also, we don't want people to think that like the patay gutom
Mm-hmm.
thing, like your what do you call this? Your eyes are bigger than your mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, your
yeah.
eyes is
Yeah.
bigger than your stomach.
We
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be called that. But for buffets, here's my problem with buffets. I'm caught between getting all the food that I want to eat because I don't want to go back. Because it's also a shame, and I don't feel like, oh, she's getting another round. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right.
she's
That's
I,
standing
true.
up again
just
and
so you
getting
know,
more
if you were to
food.
go eat out with me, there's no shame at all. You don't have to worry about it.
Like seriously. So I would grab whatever food I want to eat, just because I would feel so embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
going back to the and get more food.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I'm also like, am I gonna finish all of this? So I'd be forced to finish all of them,
Right. Right. Um.
and I'd ask someone to get more food.
And then when you're at home, like the first rule of before you eat, you have to make sure everybody's on the table, and same thing
Mhm.
after you eat, you have to make sure
You
everybody's
wait for
done.
people to finish.
You have to wait for everybody to be done before you get up and leave.
Mm.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because it's rude to leave the table.
It's very rude to leave the table.
When someone's eating still,
Mm-hmm.
or it's rude to stand up when someone is still eating.
That's right. Yeah.
And don't ever fix your plate when someone is
Oh, don't ever fix your plate ever. Don't ever do that.
right.
Especially if someone else is
We
still
have
eating.
beliefs as well to
Mm-hmm.
well, someone is still eating, don't you ever fix the table.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Just leave it and have someone else. Have someone else do it for you.
Right. Or when
It's better that
everybody's
way. Yeah,
finished.
when
Wait
everybody's
until
done.
everybody's
That's right. That's right.
I know you guys don't notice this. We got a 6 minute mark.
I know.
Oh yeah.
So what else? What else do we have for after we eat?
Visitors are not supposed to fix a table or even their own plate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like just leave it there.
Yep. That's right. That's right. And I do this
Mm.
all the time. So when I get water, like I get up and get water, I make sure I fill everybody's glass. Like I don't just get water
Oh
for
yeah,
myself.
that
It's like
right.
just a courtesy of when you get water and you
Mhm.
get up, you
Hand
fill
gesture.
everybody. Yeah, because you have a pitcher of
Yeah.
water, so make sure you fill everybody's glass. And that's a common courtesy that we do on the table, right?
For
Mm.
for me, CB, I'm used to like fixing my own plate. Like after I'm done eating,
Mm-hmm.
I would really like grab my plate and put it on the sink. But they'd be like, no, 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 just leave it there. But if they're not gonna tell me to just leave it there, I would really get my plate
Yeah. Yeah.
and my glass and then put it
Put it in the
on the
sink.
sink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same goes at restaurants or fast food. I would really like fix the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a
Oh,
weird
yeah.
thing because I don't want to see it. I don't want to
Yeah.
leave the building seeing my
Mm-hmm.
table really
Yo, so
messy.
that's another thing, and this is a big comparison here in America and in the Philippines. So McDonald's, like a fast food restaurant, here in America, you have to take care of your food. You have to take care of your
Of your table
yeah,
too.
your table.
You gotta
But
clean it up.
In the Philippines, you don't have to. Someone else will do it for you. You can just leave it on the
Right, and
table.
they'd
Yeah,
be like, "No, just leave it there."
right, right.
Okay, this I've used to work to a fast food chain before, and um, like I'm okay cleaning the table for other people. If I were to eat out, I mean, it's not that I just don't want to. Like, I really don't want to see my table being so messy. But I also feel like I don't like other people cleaning up my mess.
Mm,
You know,
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. But that
especially
is
if you see your like, there's a toothpick, there's a tissue, and
yeah,
there's
but
my spoon. I got my
Yeah,
that was inside my mouth minutes ago.
yeah, but that is a very important thing. People will tell you not to, and they're not just doing it because you're a foreigner or you're from another
Well,
country.
if you're a foreigner and you fix your table, they'd be like, "What the heck is
I
he
know.
doing?"
Yeah. Yep.
Like my uncle, "Hey, why is he fixing the table?"
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
my aunts would be my mom, and they'd be like, because my uncle started cleaning up the table in a restaurant or like in a fast food, and my parents or a Filipino would be, "Hey, what is he doing? Oh my God, tell him not to fix the table.
I
Oh,
love the
don't do
accent.
that, don't do that, don't do
Uh,
that, don't do that."
yeah.
Oh gosh.
All right. So what else do we have for after meal?
The
Um.
after meal, the washing of plates.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is a Filipino norm, but um, like most of the families would not let you wash the plate if you are not sleeping in that house or if you haven't
Mm-hmm.
slept in that house
Yep. Yeah.
yet. Yeah,
Yeah. We have this rule in my house that whoever is the last person who eats
that
washes the
too.
dishes.
The last
Yeah,
person to
that's a
eat.
family thing here too.
Yeah. Whoever last to eat, wash the dishes. It sucks because I love to eat.
That's why you have to hurry up. Like
Right.
if it's the last two person, the last two persons on the table would be like, oh my god, it's like a race.
Right. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. Um. So that those are the things that you need to expect if you want to not if but when you plan to visit Philippines and you don't know what to do when you're eating, before you eat, and after you eat. These are really common, and yeah, you can follow all these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So let's do our last bit. Jed, where can people find you in the
Oh, I think I changed some of my not all, but I think I kind of like updated my tag name in most of the social media accounts. So just go look for Jediah 90. Ah, I did. I changed it.
nice,
Or
nice.
look for my name, Jediah Balatero, all over social media. No kidding. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. What else? Twitter, but I don't really use my Twitter that
Much.
much.
Mm,
But yeah,
mm. How about you, Waka?
Facebook
Uh,
specific.
so you can find me where if you are friends with AJ or Jed. Yeah,
Right.
Jed is a friend of mine too now, so you can find me there.
And
Now that you
me.
see
Oh,
my face.
go look for AJ because you'd have a hard time finding me. So you definitely then have a hard time
And this
finding
is why.
Waka.
And this is why they're saying
So
this.
go look for
You
Captain
guys,
Bug.
this is why they're saying this because I only have one handle for all of my accounts: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I even have LinkedIn. It's I almost said the Maximum Filipino Show. It's the Gum Fam Show. It's the Gum Fam Show. Um, GAM, Gum Fam, not Gam, Gum Fam. You guys can follow me there. Make sure to watch our TikTok. They're really funny. And then you guys can also follow the Maximum Filipino Show. We limited our handles, so we are down to two handles now. For This is for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's TMFS dot official. That's TMFS dot official, and our Twitter is TMFS official. That's it. And you can email us on the Maximum Filipino Show at gmail.com. Make sure to rate, subscribe, and comment, and tell people about this podcast because it's gonna help a lot of people, especially if you want to go to the Philippines. It's really gonna help you. Any final note for you two?
I'm
Thanks.
starving.
That's typical. Um, yeah, that's it. Well, to me and to the rest of the gang, and to Waka. Say Waka, thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having me again.
Right. We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, late.
Bye.
Bye.
Terrell.